Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning back in. I hope everyone had an excellent week. We made it, y'all. We made it. I feel like I say this almost like every week, but oh boy, this one was another doozy. But I'm happy to be here with y'all. Happy to be back at the hobby desk. What's up, Godzilla? How you doing, broski? Happy Friday. Y'all, it is already a full week and some change into December. Where the heck has the time gone, y'all? Where the heck has the time gone? I do not understand. I will never be able to comprehend it. I simply will not. Man. But I'm excited for the holidays to be rolling around here now. Means break time's coming for me. Doing pretty good. Good, Godzilla did. Good. I hope your semester is, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I hope your semester is starting to hopefully wind down for you a little bit. I know this is typically the time where things like ramp up for people, but you know, hopefully you'll be able to finish strong. I know you'll be able to finish strong, and hopefully the rest of it from then on is pretty chill. Hey, what's up, Nikki? Good to see you, broski. How you doing? How was your week? Thanks for tuning in as always. Much appreciated. Whew. Just making sure I have all of my items here for our work tonight neatly arranged. It has been a week, yes, I agree. Same here. It has been one of the weeks of all time for me this week. Oh my gosh, work has been nightmarishly busy. Everyone's got so many things that they want to get done right before, everyone goes off for the holidays, and you know, the world shuts down for that blissful week between, like, Christmas and New Year's. You know what I'm saying? If even that. But at least we're here all together tonight, Jay chilling. And as always, of course, this is a space where we can all just come, relax, zone out to some work. I know, like, a lot of y'all like to put on this stream while you're working on your own stuff too, which I really dig, because I'm always down for this to be a very positive, very chill space where we can all just, like, do our work alongside of each other virtually and such, and overall just have this be a very positive space for your hobby, for your craft. And a big part of the reason why that is because you guys are also, like, just super cool and awesome and fun, and as always, I greatly appreciate y'all's support. If you happen to be tuning in for the first time tonight, and I haven't seen you yet, hello. My name is Christian, y'all. Welcome to my channel. If you like what you see here on the stream tonight, don't forget to drop a like at any point, just because that greatly helps out my channel. Don't forget to subscribe too if you want to see more streams. I go for live every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time right here on this channel. And if you want to follow me on my socials, all those can be found in the description below. And Godzilla says, building some metal gargoyles. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that you had gotten those last week. Very nice, very nice. How many of them do you have? Hopefully you don't have to paint, like, too many of them. Also, how do you build metal gargoyle? I mean, I'm guessing it's just, what, super glue? Super glue and a prayer? Oh my god, I've never dealt with... Okay, so 4. Okay. It's not a terrible sample size there. I've never dealt with with metal models before. I do have a at some point I was thinking about in the future about circling back around to Sisters and finally painting this building and painting this exorcist I have. Excuse me, this was gifted to me by a family friend who just had extra stuff that he needed to get rid of. And so, but the thing about it is it's the old heavy metal exorcist tank, so the pipe organ rocket launcher is actually the metal part. The rest of it's resin though. So one day we will tackle that when we're feeling brave, but today is not that day. Instead, we're going to be working on our Plague Marines from last time. So of course now they are fully assembled, and tonight we are going to primarily focus on priming them, which who knows, that might end up taking quite a bit. I'm pretty fast now when it comes to my airbrushing and changing out the colors, in between steps and whatnot. But this whole Zenithal priming process might take up pretty much all of our time across 7 models just to get it done right. just because there are a couple of additional steps that I want to take in order to really like make everything pop. But you know, if we do have time toward the end, then what I will do is I will begin to paint at least one of the Plague Marines, just so y'all can get a feel for the color scheme that we're going for. And we'll go from there. There's my black. I needed to grab that. There we go. I was looking for that earlier. So yeah, that's the general game plan for tonight. So why don't we just get Death Guard Warlord? Oh man. Oh my god, Death Guard Warlord Titan at 1 million subscribers. Boom, there it is right there. Saying it live in 4K, well technically 1080p. I will paint a Death Guard Warlord Titan when I reach 1 million subscribers on this YouTube channel. Someday. That is the plan. But let's go ahead and switch over to the cutting mat and let's talk a little bit about what the game plan is here. So got our lovely colors that I've picked out for this whole paint scheme. So let's talk about what we're going to do first. So first of all, we're going to do a Zenithal highlight. Y'all are very familiar with like a Zenithal highlight, I'm assuming, just because you were both very experienced hobby painters yourself, hobbyists yourself, and have definitely come across the concept of a Zenithal Prime. But to everyone else who may not know it, basically a Zenithal Prime is a method of priming your miniatures such that you're basically simulating what real quote-unquote realistic lighting effects would look like if they were hitting the model. Basically, you're modeling sunlight hitting the model from the sun's zenith, or the highest point in its trip across the sky throughout the day, right? That's why it's called a Zenithal Prime. And to achieve this, I'm going to be using 3 colors. First of all, we're going to start off with a pure black prime. And then on top of that, we're going to lay down some French Mirage blue, and then finally some pale sand on top of that for our brightest part of the Zenithal Prime. This is Dana Howell's method. She's the one who very much popularized this method. It's the one I really enjoy using. I really like the results that it produces. And then we're going to go through, we're going to go back and we're going to dry brush a little bit with some white paint, and then maybe do even a little bit of shading with our Nuln Oil if we're feeling up for it. I don't know, lately I've been kind of peeling away from Nuln Oil, especially because of its, like, you know, no matter which version of it you get, whether or not you get the regular one or the glossy version or the gloss version, both are still somewhat glossy. And so I've been trying to reduce my usage of Nuln Oil just so that, like, you know, I don't get that glossy effect in places where I don't want it. But we'll see. We're gonna feel it out and see how we feel later on. And then once we apply our Zenithal Prime, we can move on to the actual colors. So here is, no, me too, Nikki. I hate that so much. And like literally Nobel Peace Prize, or like Nobel Prize in Science and Chemistry to whoever can come up with a black shade paint that is not glossy. Because I've tried a couple and they all are some degree of glossy, or like at best it's like barely satin, you know. But let's talk about these colors that I've picked out. So as I've mentioned in the past, we are doing a sort of bubblegum paint scheme or color scheme for our model. So to that end, I've picked out a very vibrant blue in the form of Tidal Wave from the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 line. Nikki says I still do it, but I varnish at the end so it fixes it, but it's still painful to look at. Yeah, I feel that. I also recently picked up some matte varnish too to that end. But yeah, so we got our Tidal Wave, and I've also picked out a couple of pinks, such as this one, Princess Pink. And then we're also going to, I picked out a few pinks actually, because I really couldn't choose which one I really wanted the most. So what else we got here? We got Familiar Pink, which is one I think I've used on stream before. I think I've told y'all this is one of my favorite paints in my collection, period. Definitely going to end up running through this bottle very quickly. Also this Moonlight Coral, which is like a reddish purple. We're going to definitely use this in some parts for like, maybe for like some layering to add some more shadow to the pink bits. I don't know, we'll see. I do want to use that color somehow. But these two, the Princess Pink and the Tidal Wave, are going to be the primaries. And then to balance these out together, I also picked out, actually not this orange. This orange is going to be useful, but not Fire Giant Orange. This other orange, actually, which is described as a vivid orange on the bottle, Nuclear Sunrise. How fitting, Nuclear Sunrise, in honor of Godzilla. and Godzilla did, you know what I'm saying? So we got a nice nuclear sunrise for you that Godzilla would absolutely adore. So boom, there you go. So these three basically are going to form like the primary triad of colors that pretty much everything else is going to be like based on. You know, I've picked out some other colors that sort of go with these that are going to be like layered on, maybe to like, you know, add some volume to the applicable areas. But this is generally like where we're at. We're going to be hanging out in this neighborhood. Basically what I did in order to come up with this color scheme is how did I come up with this color scheme? I was literally at work one day and I was changing out some ink cartridges. I was changing out the color ink cartridges, right? And you know, the three colors of colored printer ink are magenta, cyan, and yellow. And I was like, huh, you know, that is actually a pretty nice triad of color right there. And then all of a sudden it sort of clicked in my head like, wait a second, I can use this for a paint scheme. And although I didn't want to do like exactly like magenta, cyan, and yellow, I basically picked colors that were sort of in that same neighborhood. And I was like, huh, you know, this kind of reminds me of like bubblegum. Aha! And that's where the idea for like the bubblegum death guard really like solidified, you know? So yeah, that's how I kind of came up with this color scheme. I often find inspiration from my color schemes from like real life. You know, I'll be out on the street and I'll be like, oh, that's a pretty color. I wonder if I could replicate that in my miniature painting, you know, stuff like that, you know. Real life is a great, and like the environment around you is a great way to find new color schemes for your models, in case you're ever looking for one. But you know what though? One last thing I want to do real quick, is I want to give hobby shoutouts again, like we usually do. I know I haven't done it the last couple of times we've been live. Because we've all been working so hard on a variety of different projects, but we definitely have some really cool stuff to show off here tonight from our hobbying friends here in chat. So real quick, before we go any further, first of all, I want to start off with our boy Ultralord, aka Poster Boy Paints, and his page has been growing very steadily over recent times. Very proud of him, of course. Because, you know, that's my boy from real life, of course. You know, we're best friends since, like, oh god, I don't even know how long at this point. But wanted to give a special shout out, especially to his D&D character's miniature right here. I really like this paint scheme. Basically, his character is actually two characters in one. You see he describes them on the side, Sola and Strike, who are conjoined twins. So rather than one head, so it's not just a dragonborn with like one head and two colors, or a lizard folk rather with one head and two colors. Or no, not lizard folk, no, dragonborn. Yeah, Godzilla, I agree, he is definitely going ham. I especially love too like the related tones in the middle right here, like the teal to match with the blue and the orange to match with the red. That just looks really nice. I also love the base as well. Very lush, very realistic. Love the work on the sword too. Love a good black blade with gold inlay moment. Absolutely adore that. But yeah, EA, he did indeed feast when it came to this miniature right here. So I wanted to give a special shout out for that real quick. Moving on. Gonna move on to our boy Godzilla, who of course is here in chat right now. Got a couple of things here. First of all, this is the gorgeous Mortarian model we were talking about last time. Excellent work again on this, my guy. Absolutely, I love the color of his armor. This like pale purple that you picked out, like, that might be purple. I'm not entirely sure which color that is, frankly, but he is looking absolutely disgustingly beautiful and resilient here. Love it. Love to see it. Love the blood splatter on the horns, because yeah, those things definitely look like they could kill. Makes total sense to me. Nice highlights on the wings too, I gotta say. And I also love like the red veiny effects and everything too. Love the blood effect on Silence here as well. That's the name of Mortarian Scythe for those of you who don't know. Love the glowing green bits to contrast with all the purple on the model. And yeah, absolutely great work. Blue with purple in the shadows. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's nice. That's very effective, and a nice pairing of colors too, working together in tandem right there. I really dig that, my guy. Good shit. Good shit. All right. And then also too, we have your Hive Tyrant as well, your Metal Hive Tyrant buddy. Want to give a quick shout out to him as well. Love the glowing effect on his eyes and like his inner bits right here. Let me get his eyes up again too. Yeah, it looks like his eyes are glowing red, right? Yeah, that looks sick. I like the metal Hive Tyrant. This is a really cool looking. I had never seen this model before. It looks really cool though. I dig it. I dig it. You did a nice job with that. And then of course we got to give it up for our boy Nikki G, aka Ghost Cat Mini Art, real quick. This boy's been grinding away, let me tell you, especially on these Kakarodons. But let's go ahead and click on this one real quick. We got some Kakarodon, oh shoot, I forget the name of this unit every single time, but it's like, you know, we got a Kakarodon jump pack unit right here, which looks super duper dope. Love the smoke effects, absolutely adore the smoke effects and the color gradient you achieved here. Oh my god, that yellow transitioning all the way into the black and red down below. Great freehanding on the pauldrons, of course, which, by the way, like, your freehanding has been getting like really good. Like, the way it's like changed so much ever since you first started like doing your freehanding for your Kakarodons. Fucking awesome. Absolutely love it. And then here we got a bunch of the Kakarodon Terminators he's painted, all lined up, looking very snazzy. Love the water effect. That turned out really nice with the water texture paste. Is that the Vallejo stuff? I wonder if that's the Vallejo stuff. Let me know whether or not that is. 'Cause I have the Vallejo diorama effects water stuff sitting over here to the side. But yeah, this looks great. It is? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. The Kakarodons are my favorite Space Marine chapter, and you've done them more than justice. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Absolutely stunning work, my guy. Great photography, too, on both of y'all's fronts. Great photography. All three of y'all. Excellent looking Vermintide squad right here. Especially love the Repentia present right here. Shout outs to her. And yeah. So yeah, it's two Vallejo products. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Cool. But yeah, those are just some quick hobby shout outs for y'all. That way, especially to the people who the other people who watch the stream, you know, can get a taste of y'all's work as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely worth sharing. You guys do some awesome work, and it inspires me to work even harder on my stuff too. Speaking of working hard, it is time to move on with our project without any further dilly-dallying or delay. So, as always, when getting ready to airbrush, the first thing we need to do is put on some face and hand protection. So I'm going to do that right now. I keep my respirator inside of a plastic bag when I'm not using it. That way the sort of outside air isn't like flowing into the mask and, you know, sort of running down the shelf life, or not the shelf life, running down the sort of lifespan of the filters. It just helps to preserve the filters for longer so that they're still usable, you know, for longer periods of time. So that's the reason why I do that. And of course, we want to take a quick moment to check for air leaks. Basically, the only part of the mask that the air should be leaving out of is this front part right here. Anywhere else is not okay. Alright, cool, we're good. Nothing's leaking out the side. And then I have my reusable nitrile gloves right here as opposed to the typical blue disposable ones. I'm going to put those on for some hand protection. There we go. And then for air circulation, I have a fan running in the background. I think I mentioned this last time, but I do have that running in the background as well, in case you were wondering. And then my spray booth here, while I don't have the air hose hooked up, and I'm not going to power on the fans, it does have a filter back here in the back that's going to help catch some of the, or most, if not all of the spray paint particles as I fire off my airbrush, basically. All right. So let me grab the materials we need. We're gonna need our usual trio of items. Water, texture, and still water. Gotcha. Sorry, I missed that chat before, Nikki, my fault. So the three things we need, gonna need some airbrush thinner, got the airbrush cleaner, of course, and then just some regular wool water from the tap inside of this squirt bottle right here, all of which is gonna be important for cleaning out the airbrush as we go. And then a little thingy, this old Tupperware dish, or this old Glad
plastic container for dumping all of the excess paint back out of the airbrush and into this for cleaning purposes. All right, here we go. So, real quick, I'm just going to inspect my airbrush just to make sure everything looks all honky-dory with it. Make sure the needle's in good condition, making sure there's no paint caked in there. Looks pretty good to me. Needle's in pretty decent shape. It's a little dirty, but that's okay. That's mainly just like the area around the needle and the nozzle. We will test this out real quick. We'll get the chance to test this out as we're loading up the brush, so we will get confirmation as to whether or not everything is fine here shortly. And yeah, let's do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my airbrush thinner, and airbrush thinner is going to go into the airbrush first before we do anything else. Actually, before we do anything else, let me check the PSI. I gotta check the PSI on my airbrush compressor, and it's looking pretty good. All right. I like to keep the PSI on my airbrush compressor at about 30 PSI, especially when priming. That tends to be a very good working PSI for it. So there we go. Just a little bit of airbrush thinner is all we need. Just a little bit, just enough to fill in the bottom of the cup, and pretty much no more than that. Because this surface primer from Vallejo is usually pretty good, but you never want to just put it straight out of the bottle and into the airbrush. You always want to put at least a thinner or flow improver down first, no matter what you're using, no matter how airbrush ready a paint or a primer is marketed to be. You always want something to go on top of the needle before the paint, because you basically never want direct contact between the paint, pure paint, and the needle, because then you're definitely going to be cleaning that up later. I turned up the gain on my microphone so that way it might be a little bit easier to understand me. I realized that it was turned down pretty low, but hopefully that helps out with comprehension while I have this respirator on me. Okay. There we go. That should be enough. And we're just going to pour enough in here to cover pretty much all 7 of these. If I use the right amount, we should be able to get this in one go without having to reload. Usually this primer is a 1-coat wonder. Sometimes it's 2, but that's only if I make it too thin. But better several thin coats of primer than one thick coat. You know? You can always layer on more, but then getting it off is tricky. And as always, we're looking for the consistency of about skim milk, basically, when it comes to our paint and to our primer. So let's see. That looks pretty good. I might put in like just one more drop of thinner, actually. So it's looking a little goopy to me. Not too goopy, but just enough to warrant maybe 2 extra drops, actually. There we go. I'm not going to put much more in there than that. Because the thing about this Vallejo primer, the one thing I don't like about it is that it is very easily thinned down too much. So you gotta be careful, generally speaking. Alright. So after mixing this with the brush, I'm going to take a minute now to mix it with the airbrush itself. By turning on the compressor, and of course blocking the needle nozzle with our finger, and then firing the airbrush as if I'm firing it for real, just to create some backflow. And that backflow is going to help us mix the primer with the thinner a little bit more. Make sure it's nice and thoroughly mixed. And we're all set. We're going to cap this for safety. By the way, the fact that we got backflow means that our airbrush is not clogged. It's in good working order, so we do not have to worry about anything else. We should be able to work with this right away, and we are. So let's do this. Without further ado, test fire real quick. Perfect. Let me get my finger to the end of that glove right there, so I can put accurate pressure on the trigger. Yeah, this is definitely the right consistency. There we go. Nice. And see, look at that. One coat and we're done. More or less. Looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna just really quickly hit the rim of the base where we can. Just so we can get that primed for painting later. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. That covered very nicely. Good stuff. Next mini. This is where having a paint handle comes very much in handy. Because then we can prime without getting our hands in the way at all, which is great. So we all can see this. Uh-oh. Lost my grip on the... It's sometimes tricky to fire the airbrush through the with these gloves on, just because they're a little big for my hands. At least I'll get the job done. I'm also being like very gingerly. I'm also treating the trigger very gingerly because I don't want to use up too much of my paint as well. There we go. Firing it off in short bursts like that. And we don't have to be very accurate with this at all, since this is just going all over the model anyway, so no need to worry about that either. Nice. That looks good. That looks pretty good to me. Alright. You know what? Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna do some quick moving around real quick of things. Put that there for the time being. I'm gonna move chat over here. So I realize it might be difficult to see what's going on since I have to sort of reach back into the corner of the screen right here. So I will move those elements around, that way y'all can actually see better what I'm doing. There we go. Shoutouts to OBS version 30, for no particular reason other than it's just the newest OBS update. If you use OBS and you don't have it, you should get it, because it's always good to keep OBS up to date. This has been your public service announcement. This video is not sponsored by OBS. Just doing a very quick pull and release. Very nice. Very nice. cool. The nice thing about this Vallejo primer too is that it tends to dry pretty quickly. In my experience, it only takes about 10 minutes to fully cure, or to fully dry and begin curing. If this were a rattle can, I'd have to give it a full day to cure. Thankfully, this is not what we are dealing with here. Just indiscriminate fire all around the model. Perfection. Just making sure every nook and cranny gets covered here. I get the axe right there. Alright, this one's good. Moving on. I'm keeping the rest of the models off to the side outside of the booth. I'm keeping the models out, the rest of the models outside the booth so they don't catch any strays, as it were. Catch any paint strays, you know. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I would have clogged my airbrush by now. It's always a fight for me. Now I feel that it took me like a solid chunk of time. I think like it took me like maybe 3 months to finally get the hang of using this thing. And all I was doing in that time was just like spraying cardboard just to get some like practice on a non-valuable target, you know. Whew. Uh-oh. I will say I'm not out of paint yet for sure. Or am I? Let's find out. Oh, we're out. Alright, we need more primer. That might be a little too much thinner, but we'll see. I didn't hear my thinner to primer ratio. I don't really like... So, my thing is, I don't really have, like, a ratio. Like, I couldn't tell you the number of drops. If I had to, like, put a number to it, it's probably, like, 4 to 1. It's probably, like, 4 to 1 primer thinner. With this primer, at least, Nikki. Reason being that it's all, like I said, the Vallejo matte primers are usually pretty good straight out of the bottle. But just in the interest of making everything, you know, flow smoothly and also making, you know, this airbrush easier to maintain and to clean, I always put in a little bit of airbrush thinner anyway. So I'd say it's probably like 1 drop. It's probably close to 1 drop of airbrush, 1 drop of airbrush thinner for every 4 drops of primer. If not 5 drops of primer. It's like 20%. It's like 20% thinner, basically, is my point. Maybe it's the climate. I don't know, it's always dry and cold in my garage. Ah, maybe. Maybe. Because you live somewhere that's usually like pretty dry most of the year, right? Where I live, it can get pretty humid, and in fact, it's actually pretty humid today. Like, it's gonna rain this weekend pretty hard. It's cold, but it's humid in the air. Like, you can step outside and you're like, oh, it's like unexpectedly warm for this time of year. You know? That's how it is up here in New York. You kind of don't know what to expect on any given Sunday, as it were. But yeah. Yeah, it's never humid. Yeah, Bay Area is always pretty nice. Ah, yeah. Yeah, you get that nice temperate climate out there in the Bay Area for sure. Yeah, then you would probably need more. You'd probably need more thinner than what I use then, if that's the case. Just to make sure, just to avoid getting clogs and stuff. Maybe like bumping yours up to like a 40% ratio. A 40% ratio. If I didn't put in it thinner, my airbrush would explode. Oof, yeah. Yeah, and really anyone's would. Like I said, you know, it's never a good idea to just put anything straight into the bottle. Not even brushes, or not brushes, not even paints that are marketed as airbrush ready. Everything should have at least a little bit of thinner go in before it, for the sake of your airbrush. Godzilla Knight says, I don't use an airbrush. Fair, fair. Especially, you know, like, you know, if you're in a place, especially where like you can prime pretty easily, then more power to you. The reason why I got an airbrush is very specific. So, you know, I live in an apartment here in New York City, and for a while I was firing, you know, rattle can primers out of like my window. But then I was like, but then like it would, you know, because, you know, a lot of these New York City apartments lack proper air circulation, you know, it would stink up the place. My old roommate, he, you know, like would say like, hey, can we open up a window or something? Like, yeah, of course, absolutely. Like, you know, air it out. We'd have to leave it open for like hours at a time. And then of course there's always, you know, this primer. What's nice about this primer is you can just paint it on straight with a brush, which is great, if not incredibly time consuming, right? So then I was like, okay, there's got to be a better solution to this, because honestly, this is pretty demoralizing. Having to prime my minis, having to prime used to be my least favorite step of mini painting. Like, in fact, it was almost the reason why I was like, nah, this shit ain't for me. But then I got an airbrush. I'm like, oh wait, this is actually pretty gas. This is good. I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, it definitely made my life a hell of a lot easier. And the best part is too, you can get, especially like if you only want to use it for priming, then you can get, not saying you're, I know you didn't say you're like interested in getting an airbrush, but in case you're ever thinking about it, know this: if you're just getting one to use for priming, you know, if you just want to like indiscriminately fire primer at a model, then you can get yourself a pretty cheap airbrush setup, and from there, you'll have everything you need to last you a pretty decent long while to, you know, if you're just using it for priming and stuff, you know, or maybe like base coating across like a large area, like with a vehicle, then a very cheap airbrush will get you like, you know, 90% of the way there, of course. Pretty much all the way there, really. Alright. So that's the priming layer all laid down on these models. Alright, let's inspect these. I'm just going to inspect these real quick just to make sure that we've got some thorough coverage. Looks like we did. Alright, let's go ahead and change out our paints, or rather clean out our airbrush in preparation for changing out the paint. We can give these a little bit more time to dry. That went a lot faster than I expected. Alright, so my multi-step process for cleaning out my airbrush is: first, we just dump out all the paint. So we take our squirt bottle of just plain water. We fire that directly into the cup. We'll let that flush out the majority. We use this to flush out the majority of what's in here. If you want to test to see if there's any more, you want to just put a little bit in the cup, and then from there, I'm going to actually turn on the airbrush compressor again. I'm going to create more backflow. There we go. And it's going to shoot all the excess paint that's still on the needle backwards into the cup. You see the water, it might be hard to tell on the camera, but the water actually turned a little bit blacker, which means we got like all the extra stuff that was still in there. Or at least we got some more stuff. Maybe not all, but we got some more stuff out of there, which is always good. Nice, nice, nice. Now, there's a little bit of debate about this, or rather, I've seen multiple videos that teach this a different way, but I am of the mind that nothing should ever really fire out of the front of the airbrush unless you are actually painting in the moment. So that's why I'm dumping everything out of the cup after I, like, you know, I put it in there, I flush, you know, flush stuff out. And this is to avoid damaging, you know, putting any more unnecessary wear on the needle, basically. All right, give me 1 second. Just gonna grab some paper towel real quick. Got to bring this down here. There we go. We're gonna have a sheet of paper towel. And with the airbrush cleaner still inside, still sort of lining the inside because we just, you know, did some backflow. Gonna take that and just clean the inside of the cup. Cool, looks good to me. Looks pretty nice to me. There's a little bit of black primer, like, sort of chilling out right here. I want to flush that out for sure. There's like a black primer flake chilling out in here I want to get. How can I get this out? Kind of want to stick a Q-tip in there. Oh, hold on. We got a lot more black primer still trapped in there than I thought. So let's definitely get all that out. Hello. Glad I didn't move on too quickly from that. Ugh, that would have been frustrating. That would have been very frustrating. Basically, once your water or your airbrush cleaner is running crystal clear, you know everything's cleaned out. That looks pretty good. That looked like it was pretty crystal clear to me. So let me see what the inside of our brush looks like. I know I just said don't fire anything out of the front, but there was so little left, so little airbrush cleaner left in there. I just wanted to sort of get it out. It was kind of unreachable by my paper towel. So I just fired it out the front real quick. You know, cleaner is cleaner at the end of the day. It will, you know, of course, you know, put some wear on the needle just like anything else, but, you know, at least it's cleaner, right? And see, therein lies the central crux of the debate on this front, right? Basically. How are we looking? Whew. You're looking good on time. Alright. This mask gets hot. Alright. Gonna gloves off real quick, compressor off real quick while I inspect. Oh yeah, and see, as you can see, like in a few short minutes, that dried on pretty much completely. Firing it out of an airbrush definitely helps it to dry faster. Definitely helps it to dry faster. And see, what we're going for here in terms of consistency, right? Notice how we still see all the finer details on the model. That's what we want to aim for in terms of consistency, right? For those of you out there watching this who have never, you know, primed a mini before, right? This is what you want to look for. You still want to be able to look at the model and still see like 99, if not 100% of all the detail that was there before you started priming. So that your models will be absolutely popping with style. So yeah, and in order to tell that your primer is dry and ready to be layered on top of, you're basically just looking for any shininess. I see no, you know, especially if you're using a matte primer, which you should use a matte primer. Do I add basing after I prime? I do, but I don't typically do it through my airbrush. I typically will just, especially if I'm working with my speed paints, I'll typically just sorry, not base coating, basing. Aha, good question. It depends. It depends on the project. For most of my sister's projects, I did the basing before priming because I wanted to be able to like paint it different colors. Yeah, sorry, Nick, I caught onto that. I caught onto what you meant. My fault. But yeah, no, I used to do it before. Nowadays, I add it after priming. I add it after priming just because I've come across more basic materials that I like using as they are. And so I don't feel the need to prime them beforehand so that I can paint them. I just sort of take them as they are. So yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. In summary, right now, yeah, I do my basing after I prime. Correct. Correctamundo. But yeah, let's go ahead and load this up onto here. Sorry, man, you know, this mask, it's a little tight sometimes. It cuts off blood circulation to the brain. No, not really. And besides, in this case, you want this mask to be on, you know, pretty tight. Not like tight to the point where it's painful, but it's got to be on tight so, you know, it does its job. So, what am I looking for? I'm looking for my thinner again. So, our French Barrage Blue is up next, and since this is a paint, not a primer, we're going to use slightly more, yeah, we're going to use slightly more thinner, or like, we're going to use slightly more thinner compared to the, compared to what we used on the model. It's going to be a slightly different ratio, so like, if for the model that was like a 5-to-1 ratio of primer and thinner, then for my paint, it's more like a 3-to-1 ratio. It's more like a 3-to-1 ratio by volume. Yeah, there we go. Oh wait, let me shake this up first. Perfect. And we're going to just load that up all nice like. Load up enough of there to use on all the models, hopefully. In one run without having to reload, that'd be nice. For no particular reason other than just, you know, it'd be faster. Or more efficient, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's a good consistency right there. Perfect. Mix it up with my brush. Clean off the brush. And we finally do some backflow to mix. Okay. And with that, we are ready to begin the next layer. So, let me actually turn this off. Let me turn off my compressor so I can say this clearly, so y'all can hear me. So, in order to get the zenithal effect, we gotta spray from above and at an angle, basically, right? As if we're firing it in a cone shape, right? Now, in all the tutorials for zenithal priming that I've seen, I have never once found a satisfactory explanation on how to find the angle, or like what is the angle relative to. So I'm just gonna really quickly explain that here. Or at least help what my interpretation of it is. So basically, imagine if we're looking at the model like this, right? And imagine a line, a horizontal line going out from the model. And if this airbrush is aligned up with that line, then right now we are parallel to that line, right? The angle is basically relative to this horizontal line, if you're imagining it. So for example, it would be like this. Aiming downward at the model. So this is like a pretty wide angle. This would be a more narrow angle, basically. So in case you were ever wondering like what exactly someone means by fire at an angle with your airbrush, zenithal priming tutorial, that is what that means, basically. Let me just mix this up one more time before we keep going here. Okay, we are all set. Let's do this. And again, I'm just firing in short, controlled bursts. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. I fucks with that. I fucks with that. So see, what we've done here is we fired off the airbrush in such a way that literally only the most, the elevated parts, you know, that are facing the light are catching the paint. And you see the deeper parts, like for example this leg right here, are left in shadow in the dark, because obviously that makes sense because this leg is being covered by the cape right there. Of course it wouldn't get any light, right? So yeah, that's the general idea behind Zenithal priming. And again, Nikki, Godzilla, and I know you all know this. This is again for the people at home watching this after the fact. Especially because I might turn this into a TikTok later. But yeah, now we're just gonna rinse and repeat for all the models until everything is all nice and Zenithal-y. Alright, get the nozzle of the gun right here. There we go. Perfect. Kind of missed that one. Alright, moving on to the next model. Let's do it. Uh-oh. And again, in case that wasn't clear before, we are still spraying from above the miniature, just at a wide angle for now, as I described before. And you definitely want to like pass the miniature through like your imaginary cone too, as you go, just so you get like other parts of the miniature, just so that everything's got like its proper lighting, you know? Like for example, like the toes of the power armor right here. Just want to make sure that those actually get hit with something rather than nothing, because they should get hit with a little something, even though they're kind of firmly underneath them, because you've got that, you know, that power stance right now. So yeah, that's why firing in these like short controlled bursts really helps. Because if you're about to like miss your mark, you can very quickly like abort mission and not hit the wrong area on your model, which is nice. Just gonna really quickly fire on the gun right there. Perfect. Perfect. This looks pretty good. Then we're gonna get the rest of this horn right here. There we go. Nice. That looks pretty good to me. Although it looks like the front could use just a slight bit more. There we go. Perfect. Alright, I'm willing to call that one done. Moving on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Hand slip. Huh. Make sure we get the very top of the model too. Because of course the very top of the model is catching all this light too. It's not like it's not, of course. Yeah, this should be good. This should be good right here too. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to break the second-hand Trigon I got in half so I can strip it. How would you recommend I do that? Good question. I actually have I actually have the Trigon model, so my suggestion would be to, I'm trying to think, how would I do this? I'd probably take off the head section first, and then from there, let me think, where's the manual? I actually have the, hold on, give me 1 second. I don't know how I'm going to illustrate this. I'll start collecting manual. So, yeah, here we go. So yeah, so I would actually start with breaking off the sort of torso section right here first, Godzilla Nid. With, you should be able to actually brute force this pretty easily with just your hands. But then I would recommend for the tail section right here, for this tail section, if you don't have a solvent, then I would very gently, very carefully take your X-Acto knife and wedge it in there and just very gently wiggle it back and forth until something gives. Oh yeah, true, it is covered in spikes. That is true. I would probably then do what I just described with this tail section. Use your X-Acto knife, just wedge it in there and start wiggling it back and forth until something gives. Or you know, if you got like some thick gloves, put those on and then use brute force is my recommendation. At least that's everything I would try. You might find a better method, but that's what I would try. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Usually whenever I have to break off anything, getting the X-Acto knife in there is usually what'll get the job done. If you happen to have a pair of pliers handy, that might come in handy too for this. Okay, bet, yeah. Let me know how that goes, Chief. Let me know how that goes. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see. Alright. Ooh, this one's got plenty of spiky bits. This one, Zenithal Prime's gonna look really cool. This one's gonna look really cool in Zenithal Prime. Here we go. Oh yeah, that looks sick. Alright, there we go. Very nice. Only 2 more left for this step. There we go, boom. I did the Plague Spewer model last, so I'll grab that one last for this step. Oh, this one's gonna look sick when Zenithal. I love these models. Oh my god, I'm so glad I chose this faction for my for a Chaos faction. I am proud to say that this is my Chaos faction of choice. I get some hell yeahs in the chat for Death Guard. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Alright. You did it? Nice. Good shit, Godzilla. Good shit. Alright. Gloves were a good recommendation. Nice. I'm glad, I'm glad. Glad that worked out for you, bro. Alright. Alright. Last model for this step, then we're on to the pale sand step next. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Looks great. Alright. Cool. So that's that step taken care of. Alright. Commence the cleaning process yet again. Give me one second, you guys. I forgot I promised I would, I promised my mom I'd send a picture of what I looked like, because I told her I was going to be looking really silly tonight, for my stream, so, just gonna, I was going to take a quick picture through OBS real quick. Oh, this looks so silly. There we go. I love my mom, y'all. Here, I'll post the picture I just took to my story too. Here we go. I gotta retake it real quick. Being silly, no way. No, literally. Oh, you got my number memorized right there, Godzilla. You got me memorized right there. Woo! Alright, let's get this airbrush cleaned real quick before that paint coagulates inside the cup. Alright. I mean, it shouldn't, because we definitely put it enough thinner, but you know. Better safe than sorry. I need to get a larger squirt bottle. I only got this tiny one because I thought I wanted a smaller one for portability's sake, but like honestly, I just need a big old squirt bottle of water at this point. I'm probably going to go to the arts and crafts store tomorrow and get one, honestly. This has been a problem I've been meaning to resolve for a long time, but haven't. There we go. I'm gonna have to go refill this in a little bit. Alright, let's get some airbrush cleaner in there for round one. Uh-oh, there we go. And then out the cup again. How long should I leave the model simple green for if I want to... Oh, and simple green. Oh, yeah. I would leave them in there, Godzilla Nid, for at least 48 hours. 48 hours, and make sure they're not in direct sunlight either. Because you don't want the simple green to evaporate or anything. So yeah, 48 hours somewhere away from direct sunlight and dry, and it should be good to go. Yeah. And then from there you can start scrubbing. Renting pretty cheap to buy. Just don't buy the hobby specific ones. They jack up the price. Yeah. Good point, Nikki. Good point. Yeah, I'm gonna just go find a generic wash bottle, like the ones they use in like chemistry labs, except not from the chemistry supplier, because I'm sure they must also jack up the price too for them. You know what I'm saying? There we go. Alright, where's that paper towel? There we go. Yeah, this one's got some life left in it, so I'm not going to turn off the new square yet. Let's check the needle. Oh, shit. Checking the needle. Needle looks pretty clear. Needle and needle housing looks pretty clear, but let's see. Let's do one more quick rinse, one more quick backflow. This should be the last one. This looks pretty good. That looks pretty clear to me. The main Trigon will not see the sunlight until Sunday. Exactly, Godzilla, exactly. Yeah, they have a bunch of different names for the same product. I think the one I bought was for tattoos, but it was the same one as for Chem Labs. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, for tattoo. Yeah, I guess for tattoo artists it wouldn't make sense to have one of those. Not that I have any tattoos. I would never get a tattoo. I'm too scared of needles. I am too scared of needles for tattoos. There we go. Alright, we can power this down. Okay. Whew. I will be right back, y'all. I'm gonna go refill my squirt bottle real quick. I'll be right back, okay? Alright, and we are back with more water. We are well hydrated in a hobby sense. Therefore, let us continue our good work here. Why did my nose have to be itching right now? You gotta be kidding me, that's hilarious. Alright, we're just gonna willpower our way past that for the time being. My nose, it itches. Oh well. Hey, Ultralord, what's good, bro? Welcome in. We are doing some Zenithal priming of our Death Guard Plague Marines right now. How you been, bro? Also, I did this before you got here, but I showed off your Dragonborn, your D&D character miniature from your Instagram. I was going through everybody's Instagram showing off their work. Looks awesome, my guy. Looks epic. How you been? How's work been? Do you have any news to share with us regarding your thesis, my guy? The one you were working on? The one you've been working on? I say this knowing what he ought to say. I'll let him be the one to say it. Okay, so real quick, for this last color, which is the pale sand, because the pale sand is an off-white color, which means it's therefore naturally very thin, I'm using way less thinner for this than I did before, for anything else before. I'm using basically like, I want to say pretty much an 8-to-1 ratio of paint to thinner. You really don't want to use that much thinner with the pale sand at all. And there it is right there. Yes, sir. Our boy Ultralord passed his thesis defense. Still have edits I need to make before I'm completely done. Sure, but at least the hard part's done, right? Congratulations, man. Very well deserved. Very well deserved indeed. It's very poggers of you. Completing a master's degree? That's pretty pog. It's pretty pog, champ. There we go. Some synonyms for insane. Synonyms for insane. Why are none coming to mind right now? Deranged, yeah, is a good one. Deranged. Asinine. Well, asinine's not really a synonym, but it's often used in the same context as insane. What else is there? Trying to think. Crazed, yeah. Yeah, crazy works too. Crazy does work too. There we go. Get that nice skim milk consistency going on there. Demented, that's a good one too. Oh, those crazy ones, they put me in a row. Classic quote right there. Alright, let's do this. Thank you, Ultralord. Crazy? I was crazy once. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I hadn't seen the light until I was already man. Also, how about them purity seals, Nikki? Wait, what? Nurgle's getting them. Yeah, no, for real. I think the Logom exposed to these Plague Marines, I'm gonna get like iller and iller. It's Grandpappy Nurgle's influence, you know. Papa Nurgle bless. Alright, moving on. Hold on. Woo! Hold on. Just gotta do some test firing. I noticed some speckling like right away. So again, because this is like our very brightest color, yeah, this color is so thin, it'll just fly out of the airbrush kind of no matter what you do, low-key. There we go. Perfect. For the unaware, Nikki painted up a really nice jump marine. Oh yeah, but that story posted. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that story post too. But I missed the purity. Yeah. No, I always end up missing at least one purity seal too, and I'm like, ah, damn it, am I gonna go back and do this? And I always do. I do tend to go back and do it. It really is annoying, especially because like they're sometimes tucked away in the strangest of places. Like when we were doing Celestine, I literally almost missed the one on her back. I didn't catch that until like we were like maybe 3 streams away. Or like 3 or 4 streams away from finishing her, y'all. Like a little peek behind the curtain for y'all real quick. Yeah, I almost fucked that one up royally. Imagine that, missing such a critical piece on my fucking magnum opus. My magnum opus for the time being, at least. Woo! Yeah, I remember seeing that. Speaking of the Marines, though, did y'all see the YouTube channel Invicta uploaded a Warhammer 40k video describing the composition of a Space Marine chapter that is fully Codex compliant? It was such a cool video. I'm like, oh my god, Invicta's doing Warhammer 40k content now? It must be Christmas time. Ooh. We are getting quite a bit of speckling going on right now, but that's okay. That's more to do with the way I'm firing off the airbrush than with the thinning or the pressure or anything. That's just my technique backfiring on me a little bit there, but that's okay. Full Codex compliance. I feel that, man. I feel that. What's the point of Codex compliancy? It's no fun. All the best chapters are not Codex compliant. Or at least not fully Codex compliant. And that's a fact. That is the simple truth, Ruth. Yeah, I like this. This marine looks pretty tasty. It looks pretty tasty to me. This is actually the first time I've ever done zenithal highlighting and I've been able to see it so clearly just because there's so many like various surfaces and textures and like levels to these models and they really catch on a zenithal prime very well. Unlike anything else I've really worked on before, which is great. Okay, weird squeaking noise emanating from the airbrush. Never had that happen before, but that's okay. There must be an air bubble or something. That should be fine. My homies hate the Codex Astartes. I'm dead. Did y'all see that that new 40k Rogue Trader game that's out, the CRPG? That shit looks pretty fire. I might have to pick that up low-key and play, especially because it also has drop-in, drop-out multiplayer. Ultra Lord, you know? You hear me? You hear me? You feeling me? You picking up what I'm putting down, my guy? Yeah, it looks really fun. I want to get it. You know, I'm on a CRPG kick ever since playing Baldur's Gate, which I still need to finish. I still haven't even finished my first playthrough. one of my other mods, Flux, who's also mine and Ultralord's friend, I don't know how, but he's finished like what? Ultralord Flux has finished like what, 6 or 7 playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3 at this point? I think he just finished his 8th last night. Totally down, my man, just let me know. I bet. Yeah, take a look at it and see what you think. It looks like it's really fun, honestly. It looks like it's going to be a really fun time, so I'm excited. I'm totally down. Yeah, I know, right, Godzilla? Man literally no-lifed the game. He's done like 6 complete playthroughs. Yeah, that sounds about right to me too, Ultralord. Yeah. I know, right, Godzilla? Such a massive game. And he has like 3 in progress. That is true. That is true. Yep. That's Flux for you. Let's see. Yeah, we'll leave that like that. That can go like that. Maybe go a little bit on the toe right here. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks really good to me. Woo! Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That looks really good. Alright, 2 more to go. 2 more to go. I played once with him for a little bit, and the reason he goes so quickly is because he literally doesn't watch any... Oh, okay, so he skips all the dialogue. I didn't like that style, so I haven't mentioned playing again. Oh my god. Are you really gonna let that go on the record, Ultralord, here on... Nah. I'm sure he would get it. I'm sure if Flex were here right now, he would understand. He would understand. Mans has never been a plot type of person when it comes to video games. Or at least most video games. I should say, I say that knowing full well that he, just like myself, is a fan of perhaps one of the most plot-heavy video game franchises of all time. That, of course, being Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts franchise. That's how actually one of the ways we actually bonded when we first met when we were like 10 years old. Was over Kingdom Hearts. My bad, Ultralord. I was AFK. Yeah, I was so upset when I realized I missed that. I mean, if you ask me, I'll play 100%, but I'm not going to bring it up. You know, yeah, I get you. You're not going to take the lead on that front. I get it. I respect that. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he could respect that too. Honestly. There we go. Alright, last Plague Marine. There we go. We're basically spraying this from just about straight down onto the miniature at this point, by the way, in case I didn't mention that before. I'm pretty sure I did, but just to reiterate, in case it wasn't clear. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna hit this leg right here a little bit harder. There we go. Nice. I figured this one might be brighter from the front, especially if he's firing out like plague shit from this spewer. But it's basically like a flamethrower. It would make sense that light would be emanating sort of from this general direction anyway. So I'm satisfied with that. Wasn't my original intent, but there is a justification for it, so I will take that. I will accept that justification. Alright. Last airbrush cleaning step. Last airbrush cleaning step. Here we go. Alright. Then after I clean the airbrush this time, I'm gonna step away real quick to get some new paint cup water, and then, or paint, yeah, some new paint water, and then we will continue on with our work. Uh-oh. There we go. Literally was not even firing that one into the cup. Whoopsie daisy. We are not getting as much backflow as we were getting before, and that to me means only one thing. We've got a clog. Not a clog, but that means the airbrush does need to be cleaned, like, more thoroughly than this, which I will do later. Yeah, I'll do that later, before I go to bed. Oh, there we go, we're good. Whatever was clogging it before, we got it out. Nice. Whew. Truly my least favorite part of airbrushing is airbrush maintenance, but it's very rewarding at the same time though when you get the hang of it, you know? So I won't complain too much about it. Won't complain too much about that. One more round of cleaner and that should be it. Yeah, 'cause there's still little paint bits floating around in there because it's getting captured by the cleaner as I go here. Ooh, we still got an hour and a half to go. Nice. Very nice. Alright. Paper towel. Whites and off-whites are hard to work with because, or trickier to clean because, you know, when you put it up against your paper towel, you might not see it straight away because it's literally white, just like the paper towel, you know. Let's see, let me get that light shining in through there. Alright. Over the weekend, I'm going to break this down and clean this more thoroughly at some point, but for now, I think we are good to go. Alright, you guys. I am going to really quickly go dump out all this dirty paint water, get some new water from my paint cup, from my paint water cup, and then we'll keep on working. I'll be right back one more time.
Okay, we are back. We're back with a newly minted. Hold on, let me go to the face cam. We're back with a newly minted face mask marks. I mean, that's how you know. That's how you know we wore that right. Because, yeah. Whew. Ouch, that's gonna leave a mark. No, let me stop. There we go. Alright, perfect. Alright, so let me do some quick moving of elements back around again. Back to where they usually are whenever I paint by hand, at least. That way, uh-oh. I don't want to move you. I want to move face cam. Yep, there we go. Back into this corner. Perfection. By the way, hold on. I gotta update this subscriber goal, actually. I should update that. I'm gonna update that right now before we go any further because we actually are not at 155 subscribers. We are actually at 160 subscribers right now. I checked just before stream started. We are at 160 subscribers. I uploaded a Warhammer meme for the first time in a minute today. So we got some subscribers off of that, which was really nice to see. I'm glad people enjoyed the meme. I've really just been letting like myself create the memes and stuff as the inspiration comes to me. Kind of taking a more, I guess, quality over quantity approach to it, you know? Because at the end of the day, I just want to be able to make people laugh. I don't really want to, just keep cranking out the memes all mindlessly because I think my memes are funny and I think they deserve the proper amount of TLC. That's tender loving care for those of you who are under the age of 25. All right. Here we go. So, we have our very lovely Zenithal primed Plague Marines right here. It's kind of the varying levels of intensity, but I like the variety. The light's all in the right place, so that's all I really care about at the end of the day. But yeah, you can see a couple of what those look like right here. To finish off the Zenithal priming, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dry brush, one of many former non-dry brushes that I had since pulverized into dry brushes, sacrificed into dry brushes. We're going to take that, we're going to go over this with a pure white real quick, just to really catch those very fine edges and make everything pop a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So, here's our white right here, as always, of course, just plain white. No special descriptors, no special prefixes, just a white. Just a white. We're going to take a relatively small dry brush like this one right here, for example. And I'm just going to use the cutting mat to load the brush with some paint. Remember how we did this way back when we were doing the Celestian Sacrosancts, when we were slap chopping them? Remember how we did all the dry brushing on loading onto the mat directly, hence all these marks right here. I'm gonna do the, keeping in the same sort of vein, same sort of tradition, we're gonna do the same thing right here too. Because I don't want to use paper towel, because I don't want, when you use paper towel, it creates a sort of texture to your dry brushing that you don't really want. I hear they make actually like specially designed palettes for dry brushing, which is interesting to me. I might look into one of those in the future. I don't know. Honestly, I would rather just save the money and use paper towel at that point. It's not like it makes it look bad or anything. It's just a particular, it's just, you just gotta be kind of aware of the effect that it'll have. Yeah, it's still way too much paint. We need to offload some more of that real quick. I think I keep accidentally loading some more onto there. It's been a while since I've done some dry brushing. Like some real actual solid dry brushing. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the last time I actually did any dry brushing for a model. Because I don't think we did any at all for Celestine. Really. Alright, let's give this a quick shot. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what we want right there. Just catching the very finest edges of the model. No more, no less. Did I just get paint on my... I just got paint all over my hand. Silly me. I mean, that's what I get, though. I am the one who decided to use his cutting mat for this. So, yeah. Uh-oh. There we go. Is there still paint on here? Might need to reload this a little bit more. Here we go. Really work that into the bristles there. I'm just gonna get white. I'm just gonna get white paint on my hands at this point. I just gotta accept that. This is also still part of Dana Howell's method too. She follows up with a white dry brush, a pure white dry brush, and some Nuln Oil in the crevices to finish. Yeah. Nice. There we go. That's just catching, like I said, the very finest edges of the model. Catching every raised edge we can reach. And I'm gonna have to super glue, not super glue. I'm gonna have to, well, I might have to super glue it at this point. I'm gonna have to plastic cement that arm back on because I just snapped off. It's okay. This fell off on me 2 days ago too. For some reason that one's having a hard time staying on and I don't understand why. It's okay, we'll fix it though. We will fix it though later. I'll do that offline so we can keep the step in here. We're moving at a very nice pace and I want to keep that up. That's why you got to be careful when dry brushing your minis, you know. If you're too aggressive with it like I just was, you might just snap something clean off. Yeah. This step is definitely like something you could skip. Like I don't have to do this. This is definitely not like mandatory to make the model look good at all. It'll just make the model look better, you know? It'll just help to elevate it just that little bit extra more, you know? There we go. There we go. Alright, that guy's looking pretty good. This guy was particularly spiky. Let's see how much paint we have left. Okay, another reload. Reloading! bit off. There we go. Okay, next model. There we go. Yeah, I like the way that caught the helmet right there. That looks pretty nice, actually. You know what else is pretty nice, too? I just noticed that the room doesn't smell that much like airbrush thinner or cleaner, which is nice. That means that my ventilation plan was quite successful. Doesn't smell that much like paint in here? I call that an absolute win. One of these days I'm going to get a screen for the window that's directly behind my spray booth and behind my desk. That way I can actually attach my air hose. The issue is that it's just not very safe for me to open my window just because there's like the alleyway between buildings, you know, here in my neighborhood is like right there, and you know, the alleys is where the rats do be. And I would imagine we're live on stream, right, one night and a frickin' rat infiltrates this room. Y'all would see a completely different side of me. I am not even kidding y'all. It would not be a pretty sight. It'd probably make for great content, but I would certainly be a changed man. A lot more how do you say, murderous. Nah, I'd probably just try to chase it out if I'm being for real. I couldn't kill a rat, not even with like a trap, honestly. Because that's just who I be. I'd be like, look, man, either you're taking me up to culinary stardom or you're getting the fuck out of my apartment. There is no in between. Pick one and choose wisely. YouTube, please don't copy strike me. No, seriously, YouTube, please don't copyright strike me for that. We're just having a little bit of fun. We're just normal men. I don't know if any of you have seen that TikTok, or like the puppets just like, we're just normal men. We're just innocent men. Don't ask me what the context is. Even I don't fully understand it. All I know is that shit is funny. Let's get that shoulder pad right there. Okay, paint. Yes, we need just a little bit more paint. There we go. Work that into the bristles, and then we just gotta work it off the majority of the brush. Yeah, I've really put this cutting mat through the ringer. It's okay, my first cutting mat looked a lot worse. That shit looked a lot worse for wear. That was back when I was spilling bottles of paint left and right because I had such a tiny area to work with. Alright, this should be enough paint. I think I rubbed off a little too much, but it should still be enough. Ah, we need a little bit more, actually. Yeah, make sure when you choose a dry brush, it is a brush you do not love. Because it was never seeing daylight again, basically. Not daylight. It is never going to look pretty again. I don't think I loaded up enough paint in there. Yeah, I did just put like a tiny drop in there. I thought that'd be enough, but I need a little bit more. I need like one more tiny drop or so of paint. Oh yeah, you know, I totally was using the paint holder before, and then I stopped doing that. I guess because I broke that model that I was holding on the holder. I just wanted to set it aside to, as a sort of mental note that that one is currently broken and needs to be repaired. And we will repair it before we go any further with painting it. That way, in case as the super glue cures, if there's a reaction, at least it won't look super bad while we're still just the primed stage, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There we go. Making sure we're going perpendicular to any and all edges we are trying to catch with this Zenithal Prime. Not Zenithal Prime, this dry brush, which is part of the Zenithal Prime, but it is not in and of itself a Zenithal Prime. My name is Zenithal Prime. My name is Zenithal Prime, and this is a message to all hobbyists. Don't fucking buy the Citadel foam cases for your miniatures. They suck. For anything that isn't a Space Marine, get something else. And even then, really, you should be getting a different case anyway. Don't worry, nothing happened to my minis, you guys. I'm just saying. I was just improvising there. I was just improvising. I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know if you've heard of improv. Oh boy. Anyway. Let's see here. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good to me. I will take that. Alright, so that's that step of this process done. Let me clean off this brush. There we go. Uh-oh. Whew, this poor brush. It has been through the ringer. I mean, let alone the fact that I literally decapitated a normal round brush to create a dry brush. I mean, this brush was like cheap. This literally cost me like pennies to buy. So I mean, there was only ever one possible fate for that brush, really, which was to eventually evolve into a dry brush of sorts. Okay. Here we go. Gonna grab our Nuln oil. I have decided that we are going to use yield Nuln oil, but we're gonna use it very selectively and in very sparing amounts. I'm gonna grab my shade brush. This used to be my primary brush, but it has since graduated from being primary brush to now being a shade brush. And yes, I do consider that to be a bit of a promotion. Whenever you use the shade paints, or really any other form of paint that's like runny and super transparent. Hey, Flacco, what's up? Good to see you, Chief. How you been? How was your day? How was work? Because shade paint, it's so thin that it runs very quickly down into the ferrule of the brush, which is going to ruin your brush over time. So basically, just like with dry brushing, I know I've definitely said this before, but to reiterate, because every stream is someone's first. Whichever brush you use for shade paint's got to be kind of a sacrificial lamb. It's gotta be the only brush you use for shade painting at that point, because it's not going to be very good for anything else, especially after extended usage. There we go. Roll off a little bit. I work from home on Fridays, so great. Nice. I work at home from Fridays, so great. Very nice, very nice. Here we go. Yeah, we're just gonna hit up the like the crevices where the ankle and like knee joints meet the armor, you know what I'm saying? So like applying some shade paint. Right, let me actually zoom in so y'all can see this a bit better. Yeah, you can see the effect of the Zenithal Prime. Much better right there. So yeah, this model is a great example. This has got like this big gaping maw in the middle of it. So yeah, I'm just applying shade paint right here into the crevices just to deepen those a little bit. Just because they got a little bit lost, you know, as we were Zenithal priming. Not super lost, but I just want to accentuate them a little bit more just for appearance's sake. Gonna be careful with this model because again, this is the one that we did have the arm snap off right there, so gonna be a little bit careful. Gonna get underneath these like layers of plating right here too. Yeah, that's gonna look very nice. That's gonna look very nice. Yes, yes, yes. Gonna get underneath here as well. Again, I'm not trying to use too much of this because again, the Nuln Oil does have a bit of a glossier finish to it than I would like. So I don't want that to be too prominent. So we are going to use this again rather sparingly. Rather sparingly. Maybe get the grates and the helmet right there too. And yeah, that looks very nice to me. God, these models really take a Zenithal Prime very well. I really like the way they look with a Zenithal Prime. This actually looks very nice. I'm so glad I decided to Zenithal Prime these. And when we start applying our transparent speed paints on top of this, it's going to be definitely worthwhile. We have all of our light values already basically built into the paint job already, which means applying color should be a breeze. Really, it should be quite simple. Probably just gonna need to do a few highlights here and there. But that's the thing, it's only a few. Oh, well, I'm glad you were able to have a nice, more relaxing day today, Flacco, especially since you're able to work from home. I'm sure after everything work's been for you lately, that was greatly appreciated. So yeah. We made it to the weekend though, y'all. We did it, y'all. We did it. We made it to yet another weekend. Hell yeah. Okay, that looks good to me. Let me get this part right here, this part right here. Yeah. For sure. Mm-hmm. Flacco says for sure. I feel that. I feel that. So what we've done here, is we've just, so you can catch up, Flacco. So we've done what's called a Zenithal Prime. I think I've shown you a Zenithal Prime on stream before. At least you saw me do a slap chop, which is like this, but with just a brush, not an airbrush. We started off with a layer of black primer, then we moved on to a gray, our French Mirage blue, and then we finished it off with an off-white pale sand as the top layer. So we can sort of basically sketch out all the light values for these models before we apply any color to them. Think of it as like color correction and then color grading in film editing. Or film coloring, I guess I should say, because technically color is a different discipline. Separate discipline. And I can actually do both. When I used to like edit short films for school, and even sometimes on some of like the TikToks I edit inside of DaVinci Resolve, I'll go in and do a little bit of color correction, a little bit of color grading, just to make things look nice. I really enjoyed learning how to do that in school. A lot of the lessons I learned from miniature painting actually carried over quite well, especially when it comes to like color temperatures and understanding those. That's something I learned to do through miniature painting, and it translated very nicely into my work with film coloring. That and DaVinci Resolve as an application just makes it so nice to do too. It makes it so nice. Okay. Almost done with this step, just need more Nuln Oil here. Ooh, yeah, look at that face on this shoulder pad right here with the tongue sticking out. I like that. I like this a lot. Oh, this is gonna be so fun to paint. Yo, why is Death Guard low-key the most goated Chaos faction? Sorry, Ultra Lord. I know you love your Thousand Suns, but listen, these stinky boys, these guys might just have my whole heart right now. Low-key. Low-key, high-key. I very much like these models. Oh, Ultra Lord, no, buddy. Hey, no. The Thousand Suns are still cool though. The Thousand Suns are still very cool. Honestly, lore-wise, I would probably choose the Thousand Suns. However, understanding that I would have to then paint Thousand Suns, I was like, nah, that ain't for me. All that gold trim, all that yellow, nah. You're braver than me, Ultra Lord, because I could never. I could literally never. I will never. I will never say never. Nurgle doesn't get funny hats, so not as cool. Fair enough, fair enough. I see your funny hats. I see your funny hats. I can respect that. Oh, y'all got that sorcery swag. Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells. Anyway. Go a little around the base of these spikes right here too, because that seems pretty fitting. Okay. Boom, boom. Get the knees again. There we go. What else do we need to do? I got the underbelly right here already. Did I get this face? Yes, I did get this face. Let me go to the back side real quick. We'll get the inside of this tubing. Get the backs of these legs. Absolutely, absolutely. Cool. Get the inside of this tubing right here. Get that. Get that. Cool. Maybe get the tubing over here as well. Oh yeah, this is gonna go really sick when we start applying color to this. Uh-oh. Almost got that caught underneath my fingernail right there. My thumbnail, I guess I should say. That's a little bit too much Nuln Oil. Let's get a little bit less of that on there. Alright. Yeah, that looks really nice. That looks really nice. I really like that. I really like that. Sorry, I just noticed I sounded like one of like a pirate's parrot or something, you know. I really like that. I really like that. Anyway. There we go. Boom. 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 Boom, 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 boom. Size of this helmet right here. Maybe get the grills of the gun right here too. I have interesting plans for the gun barrels and other metal bits on these minis. One at the end there is the one with the broken arm, right? Yeah. The one with the plague spear or belcher. I still don't know which weapons are which. I still need to like look up. I need to look up like a visual guide for the Death Guard weapon so I know what exactly it is I'm playing with. I just know I wanted the two like heavy weapon options for the squad, so I took those. Also, I did the math. I did the math the other night, actually last night. And according to everything that I currently own for Death Guard, I'm already at like just about 1,400 points of Death Guard, which is so funny because I don't have very many boxes of things. But yeah, we're pretty much already right there. So we're about 500 points away from having a full Death Guard army. Not painted or assembled yet, of course. But in terms of models owned, which is interesting. I currently have a copy of the Boarding Patrol, a copy of the Combat Patrol, a Plague Burst Crawler, Mortarion, and one Fetid Bloat Drone. Although I definitely want more Fetid Bloat Drones. Those are low-key like one of my... That's probably my favorite unit from this army, other than Mortarion himself. I really like the Fetid Bloat Drones. I'm gonna get like 4. I'm gonna have like 4 total for my army list. If I'm being for real. I don't care if it's meta or whatever. Or if it isn't meta, I should say. I don't care if it isn't meta. You need to build Morty now. Now we gotta work. I'm gonna let myself work up to Morty, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a model I definitely don't want to like mess up, you know? Just like with Celestine. I gotta make sure this color scheme I have in mind even works first, you know? And I gotta figure out how I'm even gonna apply it to Mortarion. But I have thoughts, I have plans, I have some sketches. I have some ideas on my computer of how we're gonna execute that in the future. Plus, we gotta have a bit of a grand finale, you know? We gotta have a bit of a grand finale, of course. Alright. Cool. Alright, that was definitely worth taking the time to do. Alright. Cool. So, because this is non-oil, because this is a shade paint, right? Normally, these would need quite a bit of time to dry. Basically like an hour. We do not have an hour to let the non-oil dry, but, good news is, at least we use such small amounts of it that it's probably already pretty dry. And also, like, we use such negligible amounts of it that, like, if I were to start painting on top of this right now, it probably wouldn't even matter that much. So, with that being said, this is our little test model right here. Let me go ahead, or not test model, this is our little injured model right here. Let me go ahead and actually reattach this arm. Let me go ahead and reattach this arm real quick. Because that's definitely broken, yeah. Okay, good. The plastic is still more or less intact, or like the, it's still more or less pretty uncovered, untouched by paint. So we can actually just, for now, I'm gonna use just normal plastic cement instead of super glue, because we can. Make sure I get the right angle for the arm though. Yeah, okay, cool. So I want to make sure I match the original angle, because you'll notice that the inside of the arm is barely zenithalled, because it, you know, didn't get hit by any of the paint really, because it was like pretty tucked in. So we want to make sure it remains tucked in when we put the arm back on. So it was like tucked, yeah, I was like aiming kind of down like that, yeah, and tucked in, so yeah. There we go. Alright, we're gonna leave this model alone to heal itself. Gonna leave this model alone to heal itself. Alright. I'm going to snap a quick shot of these boys too while we're at it before I start applying colors, just because I just want one picture of what they look like just zenithal. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Cool. Bet. There we go. How much time do we have? Like 45 minutes? Okay, 45 minutes. That should be plenty of time to start testing out these colors of ours. So, I want this squad to be the blue squad. So let me get our tidal wave out. Tuck this away over here for the time being. Alright, let's get this brush prepared. Perfect. All right, and then let's get our tidal wave ready. This is going to be the first color. This is going to be the base coat. And which unit should we do, or which model should we do? Let's do the Plague Champion himself, because why not, right? Let's do the Plague Champion. Now here's a question though. Do I want to... Actually no, that's fine, because we're only going to do like a little bit of a test. I was thinking to myself, do I actually want to do like some of the more accessory bits first rather than base armor, because I don't want to ruin any like coats ahead of time, but it actually should be alright. With the plan I have, this should work out alright either way. Alright. Oh, the ball is... I knew the ball bearing was stuck, so I didn't feel it moving around as much. Hold on. There we go. Just managed to unlodge it. There we go, I gotta make sure this is nice and mixed up. Oh, ASMR for you right there. Okay. Alright. New color time. And the ball is still getting in the way. That's right, because there are two ball bearings. Hold on, let me put the cap back on this before I fucked up. Before I fuck that one up. Rogue bit of paint on my fingers. Alright, hold on. Alright, that feels like both balls are unclogged now. Alright, everyone, let's be mature in the chat, please. Thank you very much. Anyway, here we go. This should work. Yeah, there we go. The key with some of these bottles where the ball bearings get like stuck is you gotta just hold them at it. You just gotta squeeze it at an angle so that it's not fully inverted. Gonna grab a little bit of water. Gonna thin this down. Usually the darker colors like the blues and the purples need to be thinned down just a little bit. Alright, let's put this on here and see what that looks like. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, I like this color. That's exactly the color I wanted. This is exactly what I was expecting. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah. Yeah, that's it right there. Nice. Very nice indeed. Question is how to get the bits that are back. Yeah, we could just, yeah, we'll just do this. Perfection. Yeah, I like that a lot. Here we go. Yeah, if you look at the shoulder pad closely, you'll notice the impact our Zenithal Prime has on our speed paint application pretty much immediately. Nice, let's hit the legs now. I'm kind of going around the like parts of the champion where like those faces are popping out because I want to do something different with those later in a later step. I want to use a different color for those. Speaking of different colors, chat, help me out real quick. Do you think these like the bones, the horns like coming out of the shoulder pad right here, do you think those should be orange or pink? Let me know. Orange? I like your style there, Godzilla Nerd. I like your style. I like your style. Alright, bet. We'll go with the orange. I like that idea too. I like that idea too. I'll take a second pass over yonder just to reinforce the blue in some of these areas. Yeah, this one's jump pack is pretty standard actually, so I am actually gonna put this one. Yeah, this one's jump pack will be, or this one's pack will just be, because it's not technically a jump pack, but this one will be the blue, and then the more heavy duty ones with like the flame, with the plague spewer and whatnot, those we will let those be. Those will be our bronze color. Yeah. That'll add some nice variety to the units. Make the heavies stand out a little bit more. I like the way that looks in my head. Yeah, I like that concept. We'll roll with that for the time being. Politician. So yeah, hopefully y'all are starting to see the vision come together a little. I mean, I know it's still very early on, but hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down already. I'm picking up what I'm putting down already, so I'm very excited about that. Yes, I think this is going to look very nice, ultimately. Very nice indeed. Very nice, very nice. Make sure we get all the parts of the legs which are visible. Yeah. Ooh, this might have low-key been my best Zenithal job yet. I've been slowly getting better at Zenithal. Priming and stuff. It's definitely got a bit of, I mean, it's just like everything else, it's got a learning curve to it, you know. It can be a little tricky at first to get the angle right, to get the right amount of paint on there, get it placed properly where you want it, you know. And where's my palette bone? Here we go. Before we go any further, I'm going to use palette bone real quick on the cloth, just because this is probably the whitest color we're using on these models, so I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. Before any other colors might possibly contaminate the area, you know. Okay, put those back there. Where's my brush? Okay, and this we can apply pretty liberally because we got a nice flat surface to work with here. go. Might apply a second layer later on to make those colors a bit more vibrant. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is coming together quite nicely. Yeah, this is starting to jive in my head. Let's see. I think what I will go ahead and do is I won't worry too much about, since I already did hit the pauldrons with the, or the edges of the pauldrons with the blue anyway, so I might as well go ahead, because that was going to also be bronze too. So I should just go ahead and actually, just so that I can make sure I get full coverage underneath this insignia, I will go ahead and just paint this part blue too. Might as well be consistent on that front, right? I'm going to reinforce the color here in some areas, just because I want it to be a little bit more saturated than it is. There we go. Might wash off a little bit of that excess paint that got on the tubing there. So I might want to use a color there that would not like to have blue underneath it. If it were a cover that would cover up blue, if it were a color that would cover up blue more nicely, that'd be one thing. But that is not the case. So it is indeed another thing entirely. Alright, let's go back to the palette bone so we can get the inside of this cloth. Just for consistency's sake again. There we go. Get the inside of this gauntlet right here. Whoopsies. Mini painting. I love it so much. Make sure we get every nook and cranny. Perfect. Okay. Now, here's what I want to do next. Next, I want to, well, actually, one thing I want to do real quick is I need to cover up a little mistake I made right here. Just need to get some white down. Need to cover this blue spot. Definitely let that dry on fully. So that is definitely dry on there now, but that's okay. We can fix this very simply. Loading up some white paint. Actually, it should just take a little bit of white paint. I don't care if it doesn't perfectly match up with the zenithal. It's close enough. And in a little bit it won't really matter much anyway. Just sort of cover that back up for what we're about to do next, which is going to be we're going to take our 2 oranges, actually. We're going to take both oranges here. Let me find Fire Giant Orange real quick. Yes. We're going to apply both of these actually onto here. Actually, we're going to apply both of these, and we're going to apply our yellow. I picked out Ancient Honey. Ancient Honey as well. Let me find my paint bottle. Sorry. I dropped it right here. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our Ancient Honey, and we're going to apply it to the very tips of the horns. This is going to represent the very brightest peaks of it. Generally speaking, when it comes to speed paints, if you plan on applying multiple to the same area or the same part of the model, then you want to start with your lightest color first and then work your way down to the darkest color, basically. So we're going to go from Ancient Honey to Fire Giant Orange, and then we're going to finish off with Nuclear Sunrise as a little experiment here, because I've never done anything like this before. So let's see how this looks. Alright, so we're starting off with the Ancient Honey. We're not going to thin this down with too much water because it is a yellow, which means it's already pretty light on the pigmentation, as yellows tend to be. Anyway, so we are going to just apply that to the very tip. Just the very tips. There we go. Alright, so that's one color down. Next up is going to be the Fire Giant Orange. Again, don't need too much here. This is going to be like a little midsection right here. Yeah, there we go. That transitions well. That transitions pretty well. Okay. Let's get the Nuclear Sunrise down to finish it off. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was definitely the best order to do that in. Because it's a much deeper, I mean, it is described as a vivid orange, so it makes sense that it would be like a much deeper, richer orange than Fire Giant. Yeah. Good, so we read that order correctly, which is fantastic to know. Because I would have definitely hated if we fucked that up. Eh. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of lightly sort of pseudo glaze some of this onto the very tip too, just to blend that down. Unfortunately, because they fixed the rehydration issue from the 1.0 speed paints, the 2.0 speed paints are not as good for things like wet blending. That's actually one of the things that made the 1.0 speed paints actually still very useful. Not just pretty useful, but very useful, despite the reactivation issue. It almost was kind of like a feature, really, of those paints. But nevertheless, I am still grateful that Army Painter did fix the rehydration issue, because for someone like me who doesn't really do a lot of that like blending sort of stuff too often, I definitely wanted something a bit more sturdy, so I'm grateful that we got that. Godzilla Ned the Orange was an excellent call, my guy. I really like the way that this looks. I'm a very big fan of the way that this looks. So yeah, shoutouts to you. Shoutouts to you for making that call, Chief. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Now I'm going to also... I decided I'm also going to make the teeth a palette bone color too. Because it makes sense, they are teeth after all, might as well. Alright. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that looks so good. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I really like that. There we go. Let's see. Let us do the pinkish parts next. And so for that, we're going to need a combination of our familiar pink, which is familiar to us, and our princess pink, which is unfamiliar to us. So we're going to go from, well, we're going to start with princess pink first, and then we're going to move into familiar pink after that. Here we go. Ooh, that's a very bright pink indeed. They were not kidding. When they said very light pink on the bottle, they meant that shit. Alright, so with that down, let's go ahead and grab a little bit of that and put it onto the model. This is gonna go on the very tips of this little guy right here, this little demon face sticking out right here. Yeah, like from, yeah, we'll do like this zone right here, basically. And this demon face on the back, on the pack too, is also gonna get this treatment as well. Nice. Also get a little bit of the face too, because that makes sense to me. Get a little bit of the face. Nice, okay. Gotta remember to think in all dimensions. There we go, nice. Alright, let's pour out some familiar pink next. Also, notice how much progress we've made in about, what, 15? Maybe, no, hold on. I started this at like 45, right? So like 15, 18, like 23 minutes of painting so far. I'd say that's not bad. I'd say that's not bad at all. That's what I love about these speed paints, y'all. I'm telling you. Yeah, that looks good. Might even go in there with the purple next to do like the very bottom, like the very, very bottom. I did set aside Hive Dweller purple for that purpose in case I decide I wanted to do that. And I think I will. I did make one minor flub up right here, so let me just sort of blend that down in a way to bring back the princess pink that should be right there instead. Want to get in the eye right there, really. And in fact, for the eye, I think I'm going to actually put in a little dot of orange for the eye. Yeah, that looks good to me. Right, yeah, so let's grab our Hive Dweller purple, a color we have not seen in a minute, but it's still nevertheless one of my favorites. And we're going to use this as the very bottommost color for these little head dudes. Uh-oh, I am knocking stuff over. Let's see. Plot off just a little bit of that for control purposes. Like I said, this is just gonna go around the very bottom right here. So like, it's just gonna go right here. Yeah, that looks nice. I like that a lot. Yeah, it looks like it's just growing right straight out of the armor, right? So this color makes sense since it's coming from a blue armor. If I could wet blend these, it would be damn near perfect, but you know what? It is perfect to me anyway, so I'll take this. I will gladly take this. I think their tongues will be the nuclear sunrise color. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll use nuclear sunrise. You know what? Let's do this real quick too. I'm noticing these like little parts of exposed tubing along like its like mouth tube right there. I want to paint those very gently into the pink. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Little exposed, like, tubular bits. Maybe even, like, guts-like bits are gonna be, like, we'll make those pink, too. Yeah, that looks good. Now, should these be pink is the question. I think the answer is, yeah, sure, because it's literally just an extension of what's right here, too. I do think we need to reinforce the pink along the model by and large just a little bit more. Just to really sell the effect we're going for here. Just to really sell the color scheme. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks nice. I think that looks very nice indeed. Now let me get some more nuclear sunrise real quick so we can do the tongues on these lads. Oh, let me also do their teeth too while we're at it as well. They do have a little bit of teeth that's going on right here. Just the slightest bit. Not too many going on, but enough to matter. Okay. I think I grabbed ancient honey for the eyeball up front, so, or in the back, so for the one up front, I will also grab ancient honey as well. Perfect. Very nice. 15 more minutes till stream end. Perfect. Let me grab more nuclear sunrise real quick. Tongue's gonna go and be orange too. Very nice. That is looking pretty sufficiently disgusting to me so far. Dare I say. Just sort of marking those for later. Cool. Let us now go back real quick into our blue, because I realized I did in fact miss a little bit of the armor right here and right here. Make sure we get the other side too. Okay. Oh, gotta get the... I thought I painted... Oh, I did paint this. Yeah, I can see where I did paint it. It's just pure black right there, so it's not really showing, but that's okay, because that's technically what it should be doing. So it should be doing anyway, so... Alright, cool. Now, the next step is going to be to whip out our... Where is our Talos bronze? Here we go. This is going to be the bronze color that we use for all the bronzy bits. And if we decide we don't like this color for the other models, that's okay. We can always just change it up. As long as everything's roughly in the same family, it won't matter too much to me. And variety, of course, as always, the spice of life. go. Alright. And then let's do the whatchamacallit now to this tube. Yeah, I figured this bronze would contrast the light blue rather nicely, and so far that seems to indeed be the case. So I'm happy about that. This bell and these chains will all be... Might do the grenade as a silver. All this can be bronze too. Okay. Oh, we gotta get the spike on the helmet too. That might need a second coat. Okay. Miss a little fleshy bit right here. Let me grab the familiar pink again. There we go. Alright, we can go back to working with the bronze now. Alright, and now we're going to get the pauldrons too. I did intend to make these the bronze as well, and so they shall be. I figured a more yellowish gold would look a little too clashy. I wanted this metal to be a bit more subtle, which is why I went with this bronze. Get a more earthy color in there to sort of balance out all the very airy, sort of bright colors we're rocking right now. This is definitely going to need multiple coats in order to get sufficient coverage. I decided to, you know, go over the entire pauldron in the blue. Although, you know, what's kind of interesting is that it kind of has incidentally created a bit of a backdoor verdigris effect on the pauldron too. I don't know if it's translating well over camera, but the blue poking out from underneath the bronze is kind of creating that right now. It's kind of giving like the same verdigris effect that we put on the Castigator a while back, you know, on its autocannons, but just a slightly different method to it though, which is interesting. It's interesting how that worked. Oh, I'm so happy that this insignia on this pauldron is so nice and big and easy to paint. Unlike the much tinier shoulder pads of the Sisters of the Past, man. This is much easier to deal with. Yeah, oh yeah, that looks so good. That looks really good. Alright, let's do the other pauldron real quick.
remove some excess paint just to make our lives a little easier from the brush. Yeah, interesting little backdoor verdigris effect we kind of achieved here. That's actually very interesting. Very interesting indeed. This might continue to be useful as we continue on with this entire army project. That might be a surprise tool that'll help us later. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, real quick, I do want to get the other side of this horn real fast, because I did just notice that we didn't really get coverage on this side. And we can also apply a second layer just in general, just to make that a little bit more vivid. I think that would behoove us to do exactly that. Yeah, and it's running a little bit, but that's okay, because it's not running that much, but it also helps to like make it look more like it's, you know, fused together with the armor, which it is. Guys, this guy looks really freaking good right now. I am very happy with how this is going so far. Oh, it's 10:26. I don't want stream to end. I think I'm almost finished with test painting this boyo though, so we won't make ourselves go too much longer. I am EP2, so I do need to go to bed soon, but yeah, let's see what we can do here in the little bit of time we have left. There we go. Oh, we gotta do this other side too. Yep. Got some tubing here. Okay. What else? Anyway, obviously we have to do the gun too. Oh, we got to do this tube right here as well. Almost missed that. Got something in my eye. Got an eyelash in my eye. Boom, 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 boom. This gauntlet piece right here almost looks like it wants to be bronze too. I wonder. I'll give that one some thought. Now I just gotta think of a color to make the gun. Oh, you know what? I know the exact color I want to use. We're gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna use one of my Turbo Dork paints on it. Let's see if we can get this shaken up and prepared enough to do so. Let's shake this up a little bit more. Need a little bit more shaking. Doesn't look like that might have mixed all the way. Let me see. Doesn't look like that might have mixed all the way. Maybe, maybe not. Hold on. Let me try mixing this a little bit more. It is 10:30, so I'll be done soon. Just want to try this last little experiment out before we end off our night here. Well, I'm very happy with the way this looks, though, y'all. This looks pretty sick to me. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't honestly know what exactly it's supposed to look like, but that looks to me like it's pretty well combined. So let's give this a shot right here. Nah. Nah, let's leave that alone. Question is, though, what color do I want to make this? I definitely want to figure this out before we end stream, just because it feels like it's such a silly thing to leave off on. I do definitely want to use this color for the inside plasma glow, though, this ghoul green. I didn't pull that one out earlier. You know, maybe using the same bronze as the armor. No, I kind of want to break that up a little bit. Let's use, where's broadsword silver? I think broadsword silver will work just fine. There we go. Our trusty broadsword silver, my other favorite metallic from this speed paint range. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna just do this gun real quick, and we'll call it right there. Okay. If I wanted to make this a little bit more difficult on myself, I would have made a little bit of an object source lighting moment on this gun by using my white acrylic ink on it. But I wanted this to be a bit of a simpler paint job anyway, so I feel like nothing is lost, really, in not getting to do that. Alright, we have another jammed bottle. I've heard from people who use these paints that this tends to happen quite a bit, just because the paints are so liquidy. Alright, let's apply this ghoul green. Perfect. Alright. I think that's gonna do it for this model. It's basically already done. We just gotta do some highlights, some final touch-ups, and this will be good to go. So that's definitely something to get excited about, for sure. I'm just gonna really quickly do this lens with the lunar eclipse. I think that's a good place for it right there. Maybe. Yeah, it's a little shiny right there. Alright, so yeah, here's where we're gonna leave off with this guy, you guys. Hold on. That's not in frame at all. Give me 1 second. There we go. Perfect. I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks really good, actually. Alright. First model of the Bubblegum Death Guard is like 90% complete. Very nice. That's the power of speed painting, baby. Alright. Y'all, once again, thank y'all so much for tuning in and joining me here on stream tonight. If you like what you saw here tonight, don't forget to leave a like before you go, because of course it goes a long way in helping me out with growing this channel. Of course, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. If you happen to be new here, hello, how's it going? My name's Christian, nice to meet you. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know exactly when we go live, which is Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. right here on youtube.com/@ChimeraGames. Oh, almost knocked over my my airbrush here. I was literally about to do a little like haha silly little twist and be like, or so you thought, because you guys, I have one important announcement. Stay with me, y'all. I know I'm running a little over time, but stay with me real quick, because this announcement is important. So I will be going away for the holiday break next week on Friday night. So unfortunately, there will not be a stream next Friday. Just because, you know, I'll be on the train ride home back to Virginia then. So there will not be any stream next Friday night. And there won't be a stream until let me double check my calendar. Yeah, until the new year on the 5th of January. Because by then I'll be back in town. And we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm sorry to be gone for so long yet again, but you know, it's the holidays. I'll miss y'all in the meantime, between time. And when we come back from the new year, we are actually going to have a brand new streaming schedule, a brand new expanded streaming schedule, I should say. We are still going to be streaming on Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time right here on youtube.com/ChimeraGames, but we are going to be expanding our stream schedule in the hey E, what's up? How you doing, Mo? It's been good. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit what we've been working on here. I'll send you a picture in a little bit. I'm just handling some end of stream announcements. Basically, I'm going to be going on vacation here, you know, for like the holiday break and everything starting next week. So there will be no stream next Friday the 15th, nor will there be a stream on the 20th. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally misspoke, you guys. Sorry, I misread my calendar. Sorry. Forget everything I just said. There will be no stream on the 15th and the 22nd of this month. We will be back on December 29th, because I will be back in town by then. So there will be no stream for the 15th and the 22nd. We are back December 29th. So we will get one last stream in before the new year starts. So that's exciting. So I will not be gone that long. Sorry about that, you guys. I misspoke before. So yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to an expanded streaming schedule in the new year. Going to be streaming more than just once a week, which is going to be pretty exciting. And stay tuned for further updates on that. And until I see you all again, take care. Don't forget to leave a like, and have a great weekend, everybody. I love you all. Very much appreciate your community here on this channel. And until then, until I see you next time, have a good break, and Merry Christmas if you celebrate too, y'all. All right. Peace out.